Hi, Kat here from Standing Stone Kennels, and this is our newest member of the family, Quest. And today we're going to show you a few things that we do when we bring a new puppy into our home. So this will be the first time that we've trimmed her nails since we've brought her home from the breeder. She's out of our male Vex that was bred to a female from Outlander's kennel in Wyoming. So I flew out to get her, and now it's time for her first nail trim, as well as I'm going to check her ears. They probably need to be cleaned because she's been playing outside a lot. And then I'm going to let her play around and just show you how we let her interact in our house. So let's go ahead and start with her nails. So I like to trim puppy nails sitting on the ground, which you've probably seen this in some of our other videos, but we need all of our puppies to feel comfortable getting their nails trimmed. Again, remember in all of our other videos we've talked about not rushing through this process, letting her feel comfortable getting her nails trimmed and not struggling and not fighting. I'm just taking the tips off. There's not much to them at this point. They're pretty small little puppy nails, so I don't have a lot of shaping or anything that I need to do. She's being real sweet about it, not fighting, kind of licking my hand a little bit, but that's okay. Good. So I got the front ones all done. That was pretty quick and easy. Let me see if I can get your back ones now. Little wiggles. Settle down. So I'm going to give her a second to settle down here. We don't want to, like I said, rush through this, and she was really good on her front ones, but we need to make sure that she's just as good about getting her back ones trimmed. So once we settle down, we'll trim the back ones. Yeah? And it's important that you don't rush through this process or say, oh, well, you're fighting me now, so I'm just going to let you out of this. Because we don't want her to realize that, oh, struggling is the answer, and that's how you get out of getting your nails trimmed. Because that'll just carry over to anything that we're trying to teach them. If they think that they can get out of the situation and we let them out, then the next time they're just going to struggle, fight, whine, cry even more. There. I like using these smaller size nail trimmers. I feel like I have a little more control, especially because she's pretty small right now, but we actually use these on all of our adult dogs as well. So settle down. Give her a second. Once she settled down on that last foot, it went pretty easy. Oh, Oh, you're going to try and wiggle your way out of there. Okay, well, we've got a few more nails to trim. And she's pretty small and not able to struggle too much or wiggle away from me. So it's important that I don't let her get out of this situation. But the more I can help her settle down now, when she's manageable and not a 50-pound dog, will be much better for all of her nail trimming sessions in the future. So we've got all of them trimmed, but I'm just going to let her settle down here for a minute before I say that we're done with nail trimming, so that she doesn't think, oh, I made it through and boom, I'm gone. We can just use this time as a little bit of training as well, where she's tolerant of me holding on to her and just relaxing here. Good. Let me look in your ears. Let me look in them. They're a smidgen dirty, but not bad. But we can clean them anyway, huh? So I'm just going to use a cotton swab, and then I've got some ear cleaning solution. We buy it by the gallon, so I always put it in a smaller, easier to use applicator so that I can go ahead and squirt it on my cotton ball and then rub it around in your puppy ear. So once I get it in her ear, I'm just kind of swirling it around. I can fold her ear over so that it gets clean. She's like, oh, I don't want them cleaned. I like being a dirty puppy. Again, just like with trimming her nails, I want her to be tolerant of this process. All of these things are going to, as long as we continue to help develop her properly, is going to make for a much easier to train and handle dog in all aspects of things. We talk about doing tailgate checks with some of our dogs. Well, when they get older and they're running through the field, and we need to be able to check and make sure they didn't cut themselves on barbed wire or they didn't have any seeds in their eyes, make sure their pads aren't cut. If you have a dog that's just fighting you constantly about being handled, it's going to be easy to miss things when you come out of the field because you can't get them to settle down. Stop. Oh, just a minute. Whereas if you have a puppy or a dog that you continue to help develop to sit there calmly and let you handle them, that's going to really allow you to do a thorough tailgate check and make sure you're not missing anything that could be a problem later on. Just about done. You like sitting up for this process a little bit better than laying on your back? Okay. Good. So, like I said, they weren't too dirty, but we did get a little out of there. So I'm going to let her up, not to bite my toes, and we're going to play a little bit with some of her toys. Let go of my foot. Thank you. So one thing that we've already noticed about Quest is she is a little bit of a bitey puppy, which just comes from playing with her litter mates and just being a little bit different personality than some of our other dogs that we've had recently. So this will be a good opportunity for us to be able to show you how we deal with a bitey dog. We haven't really been able to do that in the past. So Quest will be a great example for us to show you how to do that. But we've got a bunch of toys out here for her to play with. We've got a rope toy, we've got a plush toy, we've got one of those crinkle toys with the rope through it, some rubber chews, and a harder chew bone. And she really likes playing with all of these. She is a very playful puppy, has a lot of spunky personality. Right now she says I'm being super sweet and just here laying and chewing on this, but I'm gonna want her to play with the snake. Yeah. So this snake toy is a great toy. It's got that rope that goes through the middle of it. It's crinkly. It doesn't have a squeaker, which is really hard to come by with puppy toys. Is a fun toy that they like to play with that doesn't have a squeaker. But we like to encourage tug of war starting now. We play this game. She loves to play this game. She's got a really nice firm grip on this toy. Good girl. Which will carry over to her retrieving. I want a dog that's going to be developed to be a nice, strong retriever with a nice, natural hold that's not going to drop birds, is not going to throw their bumpers at you. And this is the way that we start beginning that process. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. I can let her take it and shake it and kill it a little bit. Good girl. Good girl. But we just let her play with her toys. This one has a squeaky in it. If she starts getting to the point where she's squeaking those type of toys very consistently, she goes for this toy, she picks it up, and she just immediately goes squeak, 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 squeak. That would be a really good indication that it's time to take the squeaky toys away. You know, she came and grabbed it. She's got it to squeak a couple times, but she's not just grabbing it and squeaking it. She's shaking it around, she's carrying it around, she's still having a good time with it. But as soon as she starts to get into a habit of squeaking those toys really bad, we'd take away the squeaky ones and just let her play with the ones that don't squeak. Because like I said, we are trying to develop a very natural retrieving dog that's going to go out and retrieve birds for us, and birds also squeak. So if she gets in the habit of she squeaks her toys, then she realizes that birds squeak. It could develop a hard-mouthed retrieving behavior that we don't want to encourage. But we do want to encourage this fun tug-of-war game. There's a lot of misconception about tug-of-war. People always say, well, I've heard it's not a good idea to play tug-of-war with your puppy because then you're gonna fight over your retrieves and your birds and things like that. And I don't have a problem with playing tug of war because this here is showing teamwork. She wants to play this game with me. So when we're retrieving, she's gonna wanna bring those retrieves back to me to play a game, especially in the beginning stages until we can condition that behavior. Good girl. But she's got a hold of it. All I have to do is open her little mouth and I can get it right away. Same with older and bigger dogs. So I'm not worried about her not being able to, or me not being able to get the bird or the bumper or the toy away from her. But it creates a really fun game, a really strong retrieve where she's not letting go of this toy. Good girl. Good girl. Because if you have a wounded bird and she decides to just come back and drop it at your feet, there's a lot of times it can run off and you're not going to recover that game. Had a girl. Good girl, Quest. Yeah. And we can encourage her to come back to us, just getting her attention with her name, making some noises, so she'll bring the toys back and that we can play with them with her. There you go. So something else we also get a lot of questions about, and we have multiple dogs in our household, is how to introduce a new puppy to an older dog member of the family. So I've got Snap in a crate that I'm gonna go get her out so that she can come out and kind of interact with Quest. They've met before, but Snap's not a huge fan of puppies. She gets along with everybody. She just doesn't enjoy being pestered, and puppies a lot of times like to pick and pester. And so we're going to show you her interaction with the puppy as well as how the puppy interacts with Snap so that we can show you what we're seeing and evaluating and tell you how we're going to handle that situation. So I'm going to let Quest play here, try and get her distracted, then go get Snap. And Snap's like, oh, that puppy. You can already see Snap's trying to avoid her a little bit. You know, she's saying, I don't really want to play with this puppy. She's not trying to immediately go play with a toy or play with the puppy. She's turning her head away. She's trying to avoid the puppy because puppy's biting her ears and jumping up on her. So we need to not only be Snap's advocate and tell Quest, you know, hey, leave her alone. You don't have to bug on her like that. But if Snap would decide to say enough is enough and grump at Quest and snap at her, we would also have to be Quest's advocate and tell Snap, hey, that's not the way we interact with the new puppy either. You need to say, you can't grump at Quest. Quest, you can't pester Snap constantly. And separate them, give them a break, redirect Quest's focus by saying, look at this toy. Wouldn't this be more fun to play with than pestering this old grumpy dog? So that she isn't constantly being annoyed by the new puppy. But just giving them some separate playtime is also helpful too. So she's, you know, deciding that she's going to stalk Snap and then jump back up on her and bite her on the ear. And Snap's like, I'm going to hide behind you for protection from this puppy. You see, she's like, I don't want to play with this puppy, but I also know that I'm not supposed to grump or snap at her. So she's just using me as her advocate, as her protection. So she's hiding behind me from the puppy, which is fine. I would rather have a dog avoid the situation and me recognize that so that I can say, it's okay, Snap, you don't have to play with a puppy, and give her her own playtime and her own attention that's separate from the puppy. And you see how Quest has been distracted by her other toys and isn't all about pestering Snap now. You just have to give them a little bit of time to learn how to interact and, So she just bit me. Stop. Which, like I said, she does do a little bit of that biting. So when she bit me, I just gently grabbed her muzzle, told her no, and then let her go play. Now, if she would have immediately come back and bit me again, I would just try and redirect her focus, which she's super focused on Snap right now, to something else like one of her toys. So I'm gonna go put Snap back away because she needs to have her space from the puppy too. Yeah. And then I'm gonna show you a few more things with Quest, and where'd you go? Get her distracted here. Quest, come here, come here. Come on, Snap. There you are. So I just wanted to mention back on when she had bit me that I just gave her a little bit of a gentle correction, and then I would want to redirect her focus on something else because she's a puppy, she's got those sharp little teeth, and right now she's just trying to play with me, just like she would have played with her litter mates and other puppies, and I need to show her that playing with me is not okay that way. With just a little bit of a correction and then distract her because she's a puppy. She's easily distracted. So playing with a toy like this would be a great distraction. Now, we will continue to work on these behaviors, and throughout the other videos, you'll get to see how we continue to work through that because she's a very strong-willed puppy too. So we'll have to evaluate that, is that little bit of correction going to be enough to make a difference in her behavior? But thanks for tuning in and watching Quest's first video, and it's about time for her to go out for a potty break since we've been playing and doing a bunch of stuff inside so that we can continue to improve upon her potty training and bladder control while she's in the house. Thanks for watching.